Some state lawmakers are cashing in on a perk that allows big spikes to their Percy retirement fund. 3 longtime legislators have recently been appointed by the governor to direct agencies in Idaho. So that means a pretty big bump in their salary as compared to what they might have earned as a part-time legislator. It also means a big bump in their retirement benefits. Are they cashing in inappropriately?
It's nothing more than a political payoff. It's as simple as that.
Wayne Hoffman of Idaho Freedom Foundation believes the retirement benefit for some lawmakers should make people livid. Here's how Hoffman explains it. A member of the legislature is considered a part-time employee. They work 3 months a year. But if they get appointed to run an agency, they get to count the years they were in the legislature as full-time employment. That can make a big difference in their monthly benefits when they finally do retire. In Senator Dean Cameron's case, if he'd retired from the legislature this year, he would have earned $8,500 a year in pension payments annually. That's based on his 3 months a year. But now that he's been appointed by the governor, director of the Department of Insurance, if he serves 42 months in that position, his pension payments jump up to $55,000 a year because he counts all those legislative part-time years as full-time. He is elected appointed, so the legislator gets credit for all the months served, regardless of how many hours he actually worked. And also, because he is a lawmaker, he is exempted from the split calculation. And there's the perk. That's why lawmakers can get such a huge retirement bump. And Cameron isn't the only one. The reason this is such a big issue this year is other lawmakers have been appointed by Otter to high-paying state posts. They include former Senate Pro Tem Bob Geddes of Soda Springs. He is now the State Tax Commission Director. And Senator John Tippett of Montpelier. He runs the Department of Environmental Quality.
I think it's an incredible amount of cronyism.
And that's what it is a pension spike.
Former legislator Dennis Lake thinks this is just wrong.
Legislators put this benefit in place for themselves a number of years ago. That's what's wrong with it. Does the mayor qualify? No. County commissioners? No. Nobody qualifies to do this except 105 legislators. This is all about, is it really right for legislators to vote themselves this kind of a benefit?
Senator Bart Davis says the plan helps them hire the best people for the job.
But I need to have a public policy that works, that invites quality, capable people at the prime of their career to be willing to make changes to do it. Otherwise, what you're left with is a selection pool that are still good people, but they don't bring some of the experience that other candidates might be able to bring.
They're going to say that this is how you lure good people to be bureaucrats in state government. And it's an interesting argument. It's as if we have 1.5 million people in the state. We have 1.5 million people in the state, and only 105 of them are capable of being agency directors. Well, that's just nonsense.
How do you get somebody in the prime of their professional career to look at other alternatives?
And that's the governor's argument.
I got to pick the best people, and the best people just happen to be those that have served on the germane committees, that have been oversight for the agency, and that have dealt with the political and administrative realities of those agencies.
Former Representative Lake has no argument with the appointments. It's just the way the retirement benefits are determined for the lawmakers.
My problem, and the reason I looked at this along with other legislators, this is not something I dreamed up myself, but the problem with it is that it applies to just legislators. And it's a benefit that they voted for themselves a number of years ago. Very few legislators have been in a position to take advantage of it. But those that can take advantage of it, it can be a huge windfall that they probably are not entitled to.
I say, once again, you're going to get what you pay for.
A lot of these legislators will earn in retirement more than Idaho families earn all year long working.
If we weren't managing our retirement fund well, or we were putting in a bunch of rascals that weren't doing the job, well, I think we'd be having a different conversation. With few exceptions, taxpayers were able to harvest on some pretty remarkable women and men.
Now, opponents of the benefit plan say the law should be changed so that the legislators in the pension plans would be treated just like everyone else. And a bill to do that passed the House in the last legislative session, but ultimately just faded away. Hoffman says it's going to come up again next session. The Idaho Freedom Foundation has a website set up that tracks pension payouts, and you can find a link for that on our website at localnews8.com.
It's a fascinating report with both sides feeling passionate about their arguments.
And it probably wouldn't have come up had there not been 3 appointees. You know, usually it's just like 1 and then years go by. But all of a sudden this year, 3, and it kind of perked everybody up to pay attention to it.
And raise some eyebrows.
We'll see what happens in the next session. Yeah.
All right, great report. Thanks,
Thank
Carol.
you.
When we